Hello, everyone. Welcome to the journey of discovering powerful and impressive machines. Let's learn how they operate, work, and overcome difficult challenges. Don't forget to like and follow so you don't miss the next interesting content. The powerful tractor is pulling a trailer carrying a heavy vehicle behind, moving slowly but surely on the challenging road. With a powerful engine, sturdy suspension, and the experienced driver, the vehicle must overcome steep slopes, sharp turns, and even rough roads. Every meter of the road is a challenge, but with endurance and strength, the tractor will complete the task of delivering the goods to the destination safely. On a stormy road in the forest, a heavily loaded truck carrying logs faced a tough challenge as it had to climb a muddy slope. Heavy rains had softened the ground and made the wheels sink deeper and deeper into the mud. Despite the driver's efforts to adjust the speed and use low gears to increase traction, the truck still could not overcome the dangerous slope. The heavy load of logs combined with the bad weather conditions created a difficult situation, causing the truck to get stuck and unable to move forward. The heavy timber truck trudged along the muddy forest road after the heavy rain. The wheels kept slipping on the soft mud, sometimes spinning in place, forcing the driver to struggle to control the vehicle to avoid getting stuck. Ahead was a slippery slope. The heavy timber on the truck made the back of the truck more prone to sinking. The driver slowly stepped on the gas. The wheels kicked up mud and gradually climbed the slope. There were times when the truck slid sideways and tilted, but thanks to a steady steering wheel, the truck was still able to maintain its balance. Finally, after much effort and tension, the truck overcame the slippery road, the wheels rolling firmly on the hard ground ahead. The driver breathed a sigh of relief and continued his journey to safely transport the timber to the assembly area. The bulldozer roared loudly as it began to level the steep, muddy road. With its large front blade, it slowly pushed each layer of dirt and rock down, creating a flatter road surface, making it easier for vehicles to move. The steep slope and soft soil made the work difficult. The bulldozer's tracks sometimes slipped on the slippery surface. But with persistent strength, little by little, it continued to level and widen the path in the rugged terrain. Each time the blade lowered, large chunks of dirt were pushed aside, gradually creating a more solid road for vehicles to pass through. The powerful bulldozer with a large front blade roared forward, pushing each layer of dirt and rocks aside with ease. With a high-power engine, it flattened the ground, creating new roads, paving the way for the construction ahead. No matter the rough terrain or hard rocks, the bulldozer did not hesitate. The sturdy tracks helped it move steadily on all surfaces. The engine roared through the construction site, signaling an effective working day. The bulldozer continued to move forward, leveling deep holes, turning the rough land into flat ground, ready for new constructions to rise. The giant tractor carrying the wind turbine blades, tens of meters long, is moving slowly on the winding road leading to the installation area. This is a challenging task when having to go through narrow turns, steep slopes, and rough terrain. The driver must control the vehicle extremely carefully, working with the support team to guide the way and ensure safety. When arriving at the site, a heavy crane will lift the blades, preparing to assemble them onto the wind turbine tower. This is an important step in building a wind power system, contributing to creating a clean energy source for the future. The modified car loaded with glue was weaving through a narrow path in the deep forest. On both sides of the road were rows of dense trees, covered with branches and leaves, creating a dark space even during the day. The red dirt road became slippery after the rain in the forest, causing each wheel to sink deep into the mud. The driver carefully controlled the car, keeping a steady speed to avoid slipping. The car shook violently when going over large potholes. Occasionally, the glue pieces on the trailer vibrated, making a sound of rubbing against each other. Ahead was a steep slope. The road surface was bumpy and full of gravel. The driver accelerated, but the wheels began to spin slippery because of the thick layer of mud. The car lost momentum, sliding slightly backwards. He quickly slowed down, adjusted the steering wheel, and tried again. But the road was too slippery. The car still could not climb. The modified car carrying glue slowly climbed the steep slope, the wheels gripping the muddy road. The heavy load at the back made the front of the car lift up little by little, almost ready to do a wheelie. The driver tensed up and held the steering wheel firmly, just enough to keep the car from flipping over. The roar of the engine echoed throughout the forest. The exhaust smoke billowed as the car tried to overcome the dangerous slope. The whole car shook violently. The high piles of glue were about to shift. Finally, after much effort, the car reached the top of the slope, kept its balance, and continued its journey, leaving behind deep tire tracks on the challenging road. In the middle of the bustling construction site, a huge excavator is working hard, diligently digging out large buckets of rocks to dump into the dump truck. The roar of the engine, the tracks grinding on the rocky ground, creating a scene of urgent labor. The powerful excavator dug deep into the pile of rocks, lifting up large chunks and then turning to dump them into the dump truck with a loud crash. Rock fragments flew out, dust flew everywhere. Beside him, the dump truck driver sat patiently in the cabin, his hands firmly on the steering wheel, his eyes following every movement of the excavator to ensure the truck was loaded to the correct weight. Gradually, the dump truck was filled with large blocks of rock. The excavator slowed down, adjusting the force to avoid overloading. When the dump truck reached its full load, the driver stepped on the gas. The truck shook a little and then slowly moved away, leaving deep tire marks on the ground. In the distance, another dump truck rolled forward, ready to receive the next shipment. The excavator continued its work, steadily loading each bucket of rock onto the truck, contributing to the construction of the road and the project ahead. The heavy truck roared up the challenging slope. The cargo in the truck bed made it even heavier. As it started to climb the steep slope, the engine roared. The wheels gripped the road tightly, trying to overcome the drag force bit by bit. Halfway up the slope, the truck suddenly swayed. The front of the car lifted slightly due to the heavy load at the back. The driver nervously held the steering wheel, adjusted the speed, and controlled the center of gravity to avoid a dangerous wheelie. The curves ahead made the situation even more tense. Every time he turned, the car tilted slightly. The tires stuck to the road. The screeching sound of the brakes echoed in the deserted space. Below was a deep abyss. Just a small mistake could cause the whole car to plunge down. With solid experience, the driver skillfully controlled the car, maintained a stable speed, and handled each corner accurately. Finally, after a few thrilling moments, The truck passed the dangerous road, continuing its journey to transport goods to safety.